Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Another day, another dollar, another figure, or maybe instead of another dollar, another $250 figure. Here it is, Batman Forever from Hot Toys MMS594, 1/6 scale. Just got delivered by Sideshow. I am very much impressed with this head sculpt. This is a picture of the actual figure itself, and man, that head sculpt is very beautiful. We'll see if it compares to that. We'll go back on that later on. Very simple, classic design, black and yellow. I'm good with that. Here's another unboxing. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's not a slipcover, so I'm not even gonna bother. This I've always hated doing this because I feel like it's gonna rip the box when I do it like this. Not a fan. Crease, I don't know. I'm okay with a crease, I'm just not okay with any kind of tears at this point. Oh my god, it's true! It's true that crotch is just out there. Why did they even... What is going on in their minds? Not just the original designer of the suit, but Hot Toys themselves. What is going on in their mind when they said, let's make it as accurate as possible? I really want to know if this figure is really that out there. I'm not talking about, I'm like, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So, comes with pegs, extra pegs for the hands. This is $15 cheaper than the Hot Toys, his counterpart Batman. Comes with, let's see, these two pairs of hands. Okay. Put those aside. Probably for holding either a batarang or something. So I'm just noticing there's nothing. An open stretched hand, probably like that. Okay, and then obviously the closed fisted hands. I'm going to remove the figure first because, so just be careful pulling this cape. It's not tied in or anything to the back, but be careful because you might still snag somewhere in the plastic. I'm going to put him aside for now. The only thing else I'm seeing in this box is basically the stand. So he's not holding anything at all in that hand of his. Like in this hand? What is supposed to be in this hand? I expected a battering of some sort. Stand. Crotch grabber. And I don't see anything else. Right? I'm not missing anything, right? Okay. Very similar, or I should say, yeah, very similar, except it has the Robin nameplate instead in the front. Glossy finish. At least it's not scratched or anything. I'm just going to put this off to the side because my view is from the top. So we're going back to this figure, the Robin figure. Take off the head, take off the feet. Arms. see if I can remove one of the closed fists so I can remove this. Yep, it removes pretty easily. Easily. No sweat. The does have, it fell off, but it does have it here. That one kind of came up because I was too careful putting this back on. Yep. Come on. Wow, that's actually pretty loose. Just push that on. It might have been an angle when I'm pushing it. Okay, now it's stuck in there. Woo! Be careful. Very sharp. And it's semi-hard to hard plastic. So, oh my goodness. Needle sharp. Very careful when you're posing it. I'm just going to put it off to the side right now, so I don't puncture my shelf. Let's go straight ahead for the money shot, alright? Let's go for the head. Okay, there you go. There's the portrait. I don't know, guys. Is it as good as the picture? Very nice detail. I really like how they accomplished the hair texturing, where it's prominent enough when you're coming back, so it's not just one solid sculpt. Almost have individual strands, right? This is a different kind of material than Batman's, where it's actually two very thin pieces of cloth sewed together. I almost would have liked it. Weird, it's also wired. Yeah, it's wired. Very thin wire, but it's wired, unlike the Batman. I almost wish that the Batman cape was something of this quality. So, is this wired? A little bit. Very thin gauge. I don't know why. So it's wired here, wired at the bottom. Because it's two different pieces of cloth, it does have a puffy feel, the cloth. And this being raised, I don't like that. It should be, this being raised like that, bunches up. I don't like that. It should be flatter. So we might need to mess around with that a little bit. Or I would feel that's more towards the tailoring. This is not patterned correctly, because if it was, it wouldn't bunch up like this. I feel the pattern that they created for the cape is incorrect. And then of course those very sharp fins, be careful. Okay. Nice pattern, nice stitching on the cape. Okay, I'm just gonna flip it over here. And go back to the body. Very nice. Very nice detail. Same material as the Batman, Forever. It doesn't hold to the side as cleanly as the Batman's. I'll tell you why that happens, by the way, in his infamous crotch. Very nice sculpting detail. on the body. The butts are filled in nicely, a little bit loose over here. Very clean, no fillers or no seams or anything. Which is very impressive because this is rubberized material, and usually this would be like maybe a two-part mold, and you would find some sort of seam lines, and you know they would just usually cut it off, but there's no seam lines whatsoever in this one. The boots are not the same material, I don't think, than the suit. Feels even firmer. So in terms of like ankle movement, is very, very little, minimal, very minimal. Nice design on the boots. It's got threads underneath. Has the Batman Robin logo on the top. Let's go for articulation. Unlike the Batman, obviously, it has better articulation. The neck goes all the way down here, and there's a joint here, which is interesting. Look at that. The suit goes underneath into the body, which is good because of this gap would have shown. That's good. You can move like this. Okay, pretty much all full movement. Looks up pretty well. Pretty good. I'm glad that even though this is flexing as you move the neck, it's not so bad. So I'm going to tell you now what's going on with this rubber body. When they sculpted this, they sculpted it with the arms slightly open. I'm guaranteeing it. Like, this will be the natural state of the arms. So what happens is when you put the arms close to the body, you'll start seeing the flex here. It does have very, very soft ratchet going outward like so, and just like the Batman, it will fight you. I'm in contact with somebody, with a YouTuber now, who's trying to explain to me how he was able to get this up so high with Batman and have it keep it there. So he was able to do it. I'm just like, feels like it has more give than the Batman did. I'm gonna bring out the Batman later on. Just, it's nice to compare them. This is a sculpt. It's not. Oh, this is not a sculpt. This is basically the rubber being bunched up already, which is kind of weird. So it's almost, I can't even tell. So here's the articulation point of the elbow. At least that's better than Batman. The ratchet is able to hold it. It's not fighting or anything. A lot more ratchets too. Bicep swivel is there, strong enough to maintain it. So you can mess around with this rubber body, because when you're moving the bicep like this, see how it's going back like that, and it's sort of deforming the look of the thing. But there's enough space in there, so there's enough gap between the body and the suit, so you can always kind of mess it around like so. Let's see for the waist swivel. Be careful when you're doing this, because this is pulling that one and this is glued into that, and that's gonna happen. Yes, okay. There is a ratchet for the abdomen. That's 3 ratchets, 4 ratchets. Interesting. So 1, 2, 3. I did 4. See it off to the side. By the way, this coating or this paint that they use, The touch is slightly, it holds on to, it's slightly sticky, very very slightly, but it's there. Tacky, slightly tacky is what I'll use. All right, the belt is loose, that's fine. I'm trying to move the waist. Why is this not moving? There, there's a ratchet. Okay, there's a ratchet on the pelvic region, and the hand came off. I have 2 ratchets in there already. 3. Wow, that's so scary. You're seeing the bunches here, bunches there. 2, 3. How about backward? Trying to do it carefully. 1, 2. I think you can do 1 more. But what's the point at this point? That's how I would be doing any kind of ratchet movement, because this rubber here is getting thicker. I'm basically pushing here while I'm pulling here. That way you're not creating a lot of friction by here with the rubber, because you might break your joints. 1. I thought there was 2. 2. Okay, let's see outward. 1, very soft, softer than the other one. Somewhat 2, but don't push it anymore. I'm already pushing it as it is. I feel like this is gonna split. I'm very impressed that the paint isn't really bleeding through. Curious. So even if you were to modify this piece, it actually transfers over to the green piece. There's actually a bulge on the green underneath. Jeez, okay. I'm not being a pervert, I'm just trying to think of a way to get rid of that, but you can't. Even if you unattach this here and pull it more, the bulge is underneath the green rubber, so you're not going to get rid of it. Okay. Knees. You can hear the ratchet. That's it for me. Yeah. Because it's already fighting it. So, and then boot swivel over here at the cuff. There's really, is there even any point to move these? Because it's a much more stiffer material. Okay, so I'm gonna remove that and see. Okay, what is the natural state of this rubber? Why is it like this? This bend doesn't make sense. It's not sculpted. I don't think it's sculpted for the elbow, and yet it's there. So when you're putting it in, being mindful of the very spiky spikes, you want to expose this peg as much as you can, so that when you put in the hand, it's stuck in there as much as you can. And as you're doing that, you're pushing the bracer up, which is in turn pushing this up. I disagree with that particular design. I mean, you're not seeing it in front, but it's less noticeable here. So there it is. There is Robin. Let me just push him, put him aside. I'm just bringing in the Batman really quickly, just to see if I was wrong in the previous review, because one guy was able to push it, if I was just way too careful. See, the thing is, it's so inconsistent. I can feel a very, very soft ratchet here. And yet, I think there is one on the shoulder as well, but I just cannot feel it. So his, he was able to, I see, he was able to push it up like that, and then like this, and then he was able to film it. But his was like all the way up here. I think what he did was kind of like push the rubber in. If you push the rubber in, then it won't create as much tension here. But look at how much it's stretching that part. You're already stretching the rubber to the point that it's gonna mess around with your paint. So, and see how it's going down. It's up to you. I mean, like, once you own it, it's up to you to decide how much you're willing to push it. This particular rubber piece was sculpted with the arms down, maybe like up to that. So you're not seeing as much crease here when you're bringing the arm closer to the body, and you're not getting as much resistance. Compared to the Robin. See how you're already creasing this? And he's not even close to the body like Batman's was. Alright, let me switch camera views and we'll put them side by side. So there they are, standing side by side. Strangely enough, even though Robin is more posable, I think he is a little bit more fun to play with than the Batman figure. As I'm setting them up for pose, all I had to do for Batman was like plunk him down and he's done. While Robin took me like 5 minutes just to at least try to fix his cape, which is the main problem because it's, remember, his is wired, this is not. The wired cape tends to kind of mess around a little bit. So there's pros and cons in having a wired cape at any rate. I bought them as a couple. You can't have Batman by itself, you can't have Robin by itself, you gotta buy them as a couple. And they're basically just, that's basically what they're gonna be at, standing. I just don't feel as if there'd be any need to pose them differently than this. I don't know what else to add. I'm bringing these two old codgers out because I feel that I enjoy playing with them more than these two. The other two are more flashier, they're more better looking. But I feel like with this, even though this, the cloth, it's the type of cloth they use, it snags on your dry hands or fingernails easily. Even though that material sucks, I feel like I can play with this more easily without being afraid of damaging it, having the pose that I want. I can't even do that with it. It adds so much to the figure, don't you guys think that articulation just adds so much to the figure and adds more attitude to the figure? This one also has a problem with the cape, and I don't know why it has that. I can't remember anymore. Those are my thoughts. I brought these out to emphasize the difference in terms of enjoyment towards the figure, not just relative to their looks. To their looks, these were the top-notch ones. They on any shelf, if you have these four side by side, you're gonna go back to these two. But in terms of enjoyability, it's these two old codgers. And I wish that Hot Toys could have compromised in the production of this suit so that it's close enough to the film but have better articulation, because I feel like that would have increased our enjoyment factor. I think this will be the last time I'll buy a rubberized suit. I just don't think it's right to... It's nice to be able to pose them while you're playing with it. Maybe if you can take a picture, if the joints are strong enough and it's holding the pose enough. But then what? If you're displaying it, you have to go back to the A stance because you're afraid of damaging the suit. I just don't like that idea. Now, the reason I brought Batfleck down is this is not a rubberized suit, but they're able to perform this in it. So what I was hoping was they would have an underlying suit like this, which doesn't have any rubber, and it has the give is so much better, because they're painting this almost like with a texture anyway. So why didn't they do this as an undersuit and then have these plates glued on? It's not going to be accurate to the film because it'll have a little bit more surface in regards to the suit, but we could have had something like that. Now, granted, this is not like the perfect suit because unlike this one, you can touch it. This one, there's a possibility because this is textured and with this pattern, and eventually this also succumbs to temperature changes, high temperature changes like heat or anything like that, and it might become sticky. But this is an improvement over a rubberized suit. I really, really wish they had done something like this to the Val Kilmer, even to the Robin figure. Even the Keaton figure, because his costume wasn't completely rubber throughout his whole body. What they did was they created a rubberized armor. See what this thing is? This is basically a rubberized armor that's glued into fabric in real life. So that's what they should have done with this one. That's what they should have done with this. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's just me ranting. I love how it looks. Don't get me wrong. I just feel as if something better could have been done. This was supposed to be a review of the Robin figure, way back there. It ended up being more of a review and thoughtful presentation about the materials that Hot Toys is using. So I feel like this is a cheap cop-out. All they had to do was sculpt the body, make a mold, two-piece mold, put in some rubber, bam, bam, you're done. Woo, easy peasy, right? I feel like that's what they did with this. It's really strange. It's really, really strange that they did that. Why I'm doing this is because this is one piece of rubber. And yet over here, I see. This is one piece of rubber. This is a second piece of rubber. They put it all together, glued it here in the middle. See, if you have spider webs, it's going to stick. And what is this? Is this dirt or is it a smudge? Oh no. There's some sort, so once they do the plastic, they did some sort of a clear paint on top of it, and this is basically flaking, not flaking off, but the top coat is damaged, and that's a top coat, a top clear coat. Wow. And that's probably another one that's peeling off. Be very careful. That's basically peeling off of a top clear coat, very thin. I'm basically gonna cover it up like that. I wonder if this is dirt or. See, the problem that I'm hesitant to say is that it is not enjoyable to touch this because you feel like you're gonna damage it, and I don't feel that way with this guy. I'm okay with touching him. I'm just not okay with posing him too much. I don't feel like I'm damaging his rubber suit or anything. It's the paint that they added to this rubber. Especially this part. This is basically not, since it's just one big piece of rubber, this is paint on top of maybe the green. Anyway, so final thoughts. Very nice likeness of Donner. What's his name? I can't remember. Very nice likeness. It looks just like Robin from Batman Forever. It definitely completes a pair of Batman Forever. They go together. Pose-wise, he poses better than Batman. Maybe the suit is thinner because I don't feel like the ratchet helps. Feels like the suit is thinner than Batman's. The cape with the wiring, the wire's too thin to be able to pose it meaningfully. It creates more of a hindrance because then it doesn't fall down. No wired cape falls down naturally on anyway. But in this instance, the Batman Forever cape is better because it falls down much better. I'm still not sure about the 4-time doubling over. Again, I would say the total price of $550, I believe, that's with tax and shipping, is not worth for the two pieces. I still feel as if $400 would be the top I'd pay for it. But as I've stated before, you are only gonna get these two pieces for nostalgia's sake because you either grew up on this pair of Batman, whether Val Kilmer is your first Batman that you remember rather than Michael Keaton, and because the pairing of Batman and Robin was a good reminder for you or a good memory, then these two will fit the bill. Some people have said that this would be holy grails and Hot Toys will never produce this ever again. And I kind of believe that. I don't know if it's going to be a holy grail. I don't know if the prices are going to go up because of that. I never really speculate on price increases. I tend to buy my figures because I like them. I want to get them, and I want to get these two. I'm not the type of buyer who would say, "Oh, I can wait 6 months and gamble that the price will go down." I'm not comfortable with that because I'm not comfortable with either having to pay more later on or not having a chance to own it because I really did want to add these two in my collections. These two pairs are the only Batman and Robin sets out there for 1/6 scale. I needed to have them. So that is what I would leave you with in terms of making a decision of getting these two figures. They are overpriced. They are not fun to play with, to pose with. And Robin comes with no accessories, and it's only $15 cheaper than Batman. Has less hands, and I just realized he doesn't have purse. He doesn't have movable eyes, does he? Oh shit. Unlike Batman. So take that into consideration when you're thinking of buying these two, and you have to get these two. In order to get the full value of Batman Forever sonar suit, you need to have Robin. You can't have this Robin without the Batman. You can't pair this with any of the other Batmans. He won't even pair with Keaton. And Keaton's the most relative Batman for him. Look, he's like taller than Keaton. No, that's not gonna work. Style-wise, it's not gonna work because of the paint job. It might work style-wise, but not of the paint job. And the fact that he's taller than Keaton and Batman, that doesn't work. Nope. You need to have Batman Forever, Val Kilmer's version. Only he can outshine him in your display. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were able to endure my long rant and rambling of this figure review. Batman and Robin Forever from Hot Toys. Order them now at Sideshow. And if you don't order them now, you are gambling whether you're going to get this or not, because I can guarantee you that there are people out there who are doubling up on this figure, on this pair, because they are willing to speculate that they can resell it at a higher price, and they might be right. Hot Toys is now known for reissuing their figures. They are never going to reissue these two. For one thing, Hot Toys does not like DC licensed products. Compared to their other licenses like Star Wars or Marvel, the DC stuff takes a long time for them to create. And they often abandon projects, i.e. Cyborg from Justice League. So they're never going to reissue this. They are never going to do that. So if you want it for your collection, despite of all their flaws, get them now, I think. So good luck, and I will see you soon again for the next review whenever it comes. Thank you so much for watching and staying with me.